Arpan Khosla. I'm a stand-up comedian. I just want to ask who here watches stand-up comedy? Show of hands, yeah. I think most of the people here watch stand-up comedy. How many of you love stand-up comedy? Yeah. This is a great audience, like great. So I want to talk about my journey from an engineer to a stand-up comedian, and just guess what? Most stand-up comedians are engineers. That's the truth. We guys become that. Well, I want to talk about a journey that happened in school. It started here, where you guys are right now. Which classes are here? Like, till which classes? Like 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th? Which class?
Majorly.
Majorly, right? Yeah.
11th, 12th.
My journey started in class 2. Yeah. And this was all an accident. Our teacher, our English teacher, I remember her, and she is my favorite teacher of all time because that's where the seeds of writing got sown into me. She gave us an assignment, and at that time, I, like a school student, assignment, why not do it, right? But that assignment was write a letter to your mom. And even though I was very close with my mom, I never interacted with her, in that way, that kind of emotional thing, a letter. I was like totally like, I can't do this. Like, this is not possible. This is so difficult. And at last, I just came up with 2 words. That's all I said. It was a card for mom, silent and mom. That's it. And my teacher loved it. She was like, there were so many letters which were like probably, so many words, it was like an essay. People who wrote essays for it. I just wrote 2 words. And my mom in the parent-teacher meeting, which I dreaded at that time. I hope you guys also do at this point. Yes. Some of them are agreeing here. But she told my mom that this guy can write. Even I did not know that. Absolutely did not know that I could write. I could probably write something. And that was just, for me, it was just wordplay at that time, which I absolutely did not know the word as well. So from that moment, someone validated. It got documented that Arpan Khosla can write. This was magic moment 1 in my life. And throughout this journey, there were a lot of magic moments that happened, which led to me becoming a writer first, and then a stand-up comedian. Then, I was in class 6th. The magic moment 2 happened. I hope you guys have a school newspaper. You guys have it, yeah? My dream when I was in school was just to I used to write poems. Anyone writes poems here? Someone writes poems. You can see some people raising their hands. I wrote poems. That's how I got my start. That's how I started writing. And it was mostly about, I used to write about love. I had absolutely no idea about love. I just used to, that's how you start, right? I just started. And I started writing. I just wrote a poem which I felt came from deep inside my heart. And that, my dream at that time was just to get that poem on the school, posted on the school newspaper. A very small dream for a person, but that was my biggest dream at that time. And guess what? I tried in class 4, did not get there. 5th, never. 6th, Alka ma'am, the principal called me and she told me your poem got posted on it, you've been trying so hard to get in there and you just did. I just did a victory march all across, all through the alleys of the school. And that was the second magic moment for me, which in 2nd it got validated I could write. In 6th, I kind of got, a bigger documentation that, this is possible. This is a passion now. That's how things grow, right? And the 3rd magic moment, I fast forward all to college, right? I would really hope you guys have gala time in college. You hustle, you just try a lot of things. And that is what I did. I got into engineering. But that did not stop me from actually following my passion of arts, of performing. So I used to perform street plays. I used to do one-act plays as well. And in one of the Delhi University colleges, when we were doing our play, we won a prize, and they called me there, great acting, and they wanted me to say something, and They said, why do you want to become an actor? I said, I do not want to become an actor. I do street plays because I want to write fun things. That's why I was doing this. And it just, at that time I was actually thinking कि हाँ मैं street play को ना जिंदगी भर कर सकता हूँ. But I did not know कि मैं उसको क्यों करना चाहता हूँ. And the prime reason was I wanted to write. And that was the magic moment 3. And that happened in college. So that's where we are today. I'm a stand-up comedian. And I do a lot of corporate shows. I go into cafes where I just tell jokes. And that's the whole thing. I am a stand-up comedian because I can't stop. If I have a joke in my mind, it has to come out. If you have something like that, do try to follow it. Something which, you have to get it out. It could be photography, it could be visual art, it could be any street art, anything. It could be painting, drawing. It's not about which art form, it's about, you just have to get it there, irrespective of the monetary aspect of it. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned. Like the monetary aspect first tries to, get in the way. If you get in the way too early, it spoils the art. Right? Let's just try and get our art form. If we are passionate about something, just do it. Just try to be better at it every year. I look myself like last year, I think I was a completely different person. I was very naive, I would say. And that's how I want to think next year as well. Like today I was very naive. I hope you guys think the same way about your passions. I saw the performance today that happened, mesmerizing, I would say. I would say there's a lot of talent in this school, right? So for me, it was not an easy thing. Like, we live in India, where there are a lot of, stereotypes. I was an engineer. The first stereotype, right? The biggest stereotype in India, you could be an engineer, right? And I got into a reputed college, and after that, I worked in corporate. And then one day I was reading this book, 0 to 1. It's by Peter Thiel. And it was not a quote that I hadn't heard like before. It just said that if you're just doing a job or something, just to time pass karne ke liye, right? Don't do it. It's not worth it, right? The next day I left my job. It was that kind of a moment. It was just a thought that, let's leave it. It's not that this job doesn't deserve me. Probably even I don't deserve this job, right? Could be either way. I do not want to take the higher pedestal that nahi main bahut acha hu isse. I just want to do something different. And that is where it happened. I left my job before telling my parents. Like, gutsy thing to do if you're in India, right? Like, it's very difficult. Told my mom that it's not working, right? I can't be part of a corporate structure. This isn't me. I want to follow my passion. And at that point of time, I was doing shows across cities. I was performing. I was freelancing with brands for my funny content. I said, I am funny. This is where I want to be. This is where I see a career. And my mom was like, yeah, chutkulo sunane se thodi kuch career banta hai. That's what Indian parents say, right? And they pushed back a lot, like, and I'll not say this was way back then. Anytime, anywhere you try to follow something which is a little off the block, people will say things. People closest to you will say a lot of things, in fact. They would say things which make you start questioning, do I really want to do this? Like, is it worth it? Is it costing me my relationship with them? But no. I think for parents, when you try to follow something as a passion and you want to convert it into a profession, it's more about, it's not, they want success. It could come from A to B, C to B, doesn't matter. And I was already on that part of C to B. So I was like, I'll reach B, the path of success. Just let me follow my own journey. that is where it happened. I started up as well. I did a lot of hustle, and that I would advise you guys, because this is a world of exploring opportunities, right? Passion, hustle, have it all. Try to have it all. Try to think beyond, the stereotypes, the normal professions that we have. Just think about it. You could be someone bigger in that, right? And this is where I started. And my parents are very, they were like, nahi beta, nahi ho paega. Himmat kar. And parents say that thing, right? I always stress this, ki theek hai, it's a generational thing. They would always say that. But not stop me. You know what I did? My parents used to tell me that you will not be successful in this. You know what I did? I started taking content from them. That's what I did. If I used to get all those insults at home, I used to convert that into content. And that's the best content I have till date. And that's what, I always say this, I'm Punjabi. Punjabi घरों में अगर आप नौकरी छोड़ दो तो बहुत insult सी होती है. Generally बहुत insult, you get those insults. I left my job and my mom was like, पता है तुझ में और इंडिया में क्या फर्क है? I was like, what? एक तू वो पूरी तरह से cashless हो गया है. I was getting so much content at home, like this was there. Like I was like कि मैं क्यों बुरा फील कर रहा हूँ कि मेरे पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि भाई मैं आगे बढ़ पाऊंगा ही नहीं इस offbeat field में. Let's take content from them, right? Like let's convert these into observation, anecdotes, and that's why I'm standing here. And it's been, I would say, from passion to profession in stand-up comedy, it's been an immensely difficult, fruitful, and I hope your journeys are difficult, because that's what makes it fruitful. I hope they are difficult, because then you have stories to tell. I hope you guys follow something which is so difficult and tremendously, they just get you in the mode of कि मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ, but हाँ I want to be really good at this thing. I really want to be good at this thing, and that's, I would say, the biggest takeaway I would have you guys take away from my talk. I'm still a work in progress. I've still not reached the heights where I want to be, but I'm happy with that, because it's a long way to go. It's not a sprint, right? It's a marathon. And thank you so much. This was my journey from following my passion to becoming a profession. Thank you so much. My name is Arpan. And I always end like that. I always end with, what writing means to me. And when I tell you this, just question yourself, if you have a passion in your life, what that means to you. So I always say this, कि कुछ लोग stamps इकट्ठे करते हैं. Everyone has a passion, everyone has a hobby, right? कुछ लोग stamps इकट्ठे करते हैं, कुछ पुराने सिक्के, तो कुछ पुरानी तस्वीरों के कोलाज बनाते हैं. कुछ लोग stamps इकट्ठे करते हैं, कुछ पुराने सिक्के, तो कुछ पुरानी तस्वीरों के कोलाज बनाते हैं. मैं सिर्फ तालियां बटोरना चाहता हूं. मैं सिर्फ तालियां बटोरना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि ताली बजाते वक्त दाएं और बाएं हाथ के बीच में जिस हवा का दम